My name's Joshua Borderland, and I'm a roof inspector and repair technician. And I'm out here today at policyholder um,
Enrique.
Enrique
Barbara.
Barba, policyholder Enrique Barba. Her address is 250 Shamrock Way in Noonan, Georgia. The zip code is 30263. Her claim number is 1186 B as in boy 917 YW. So again, that's 1186 B as in boy 917 W. Again, the claim number is 1186 B as in boy 917 W. Addison, let me see my phone really quick. You got it on you still? So today's date is December 3rd, 2025. The time is 2:28 p.m. and the temperature is 48 degrees Fahrenheit here in Noonan, Georgia, the location that I'm at. And so this is a discontinued old architectural shingled roof. Again, it's an older architectural shingled roof, and it is discontinued, and it's got wind damage. A lot of the dragon teeth are wind creased on it. There's one right here, right in front of you right there. I got a whole shingle that's wind creased right here, chalked here, and it's on both slopes of the house. This is a ranch style house, so it's just up and over, and both slopes have it. We sent our guys out here to do the repair, and they said that it wasn't repairable. So I'm out here today to do a repair video to find out if that's true and prove it. You know, the way we work is, hey, we'll do the right thing. If the roof is repairable, we will repair it. But if it's not repairable, then we aim to prove that it's not repairable the right way, using the roof snake and manipulating the shingles with ease and properly. And we hope that when we prove that it's not repairable, if that's the case, that State Farm will do the right thing. Because, right, like I said, if it's repairable, we'll do the right thing and repair it and won't cry about it. But if it's not repairable, we hope that State Farm will, as I said, go ahead and do the right thing and overturn it to a full roof replacement in order to bring this policyholder back to pre-loss condition. So I do have the roof snake with me, and I will be using it, as I said. So I'm gonna put my gloves on. I chalked this one here. I chose this one because the shingles above it and around it are in good condition aside from normal wear and tear. That's why I chose this one. So Addison, I want to have you do a couple things. First, just kind of show an overview where you're at the property. Just kind of zoom out. That way, if need be, State Farm can confirm that we are indeed on Mrs. Barbara's roof. All right, and the next thing I'll have you do is I want you to pass that phone to me. All right, and so one thing we're going to do, Addison and I, is we're going to keep this camera on this repair zone the entire time from start to finish, starting right now. Okay, so first, you can see the wind crease shingle that I've chalked there. Now look at the shingles above it. It's the two above it, right? They're in great condition in comparison to some of the other ones around them. That's why I chose this one, to give it the best shot at being repairable. You can see there's a lot of granule loss going on through there. There's a couple wind crease shingles up there and dragon teeth down through there up high at the top, just like the wind patterns always tend to hit. But you can see, there's some granule loss and blistering on this one, especially the granule loss. But I chose this one because the two shingles above it are actually in better condition than most of the other shingles on here. They're sealed. There's no prior creasing. Take a close look, please, especially at the top of the shingle, because if it's not repairable, that's where the crease is going to appear. And I just want to be all the way honest and transparent and show this very well, that there's no, and I mean no, prior damage to the shingles above it, and that they are sealed and locked down. All right, so showing that, get nice and good. Addison, here you go. Let you get kind of zoomed in properly there. All right, so I will use the roof snake. Now I want to ask you to please pay close attention to how little I lift these shingles and how gentle I am. A couple of things that I do. When I'm breaking that shingle loose, I kind of put my hand on top of the shingle so that I don't accidentally jar or pop that shingle up, causing it to rip, especially when you get to the edges, to the sides, the start or the end. And then also when I'm pushing that roof snake up there, I don't push it way high up in the shingle. I go just a hair past that tar line where it's sealed, and that's it. I'm not going way up high into the shingle, which could cause damage, to it. So I'm going to move very carefully and easy on this. All right, so I'm going to begin. I'm going to break this shingle here loose. I'm just going to get that right there. Nice and easy. And you can see I'm not pushing that roof snake way up high in there. Again, taking my time. Come over to this one here, break it loose. Addison will have to, if you need to slide back, you can. Just stay in the repair zone. All right. Nice and easy. You can see I'm just, again, I want to emphasize that I move very carefully. I really try to do my repairs in such a manner to where it could be said of me that if I try to repair a roof and it comes out not repairable, then nobody can repair it, because I want to do it the best. I want to do it the right way. Okay, there. All right, and then now we'll get, got two here I got to get. So go ahead and go with this one. Now this one here. And this one, see, I got a break. Yep, I gotta break this one loose too. Now this one's got a creased dragon tooth here. All right, so sorry, I missed that. All right, doesn't matter, doesn't really affect anything. But I am gonna go ahead and do this. This right here does not count. All right, so we'll see how the rest of the shingle acts. Doesn't count. Sorry I missed that. I thought that was a part of this shingle there, but all right, let's continue. And it's just the tooth. Look at the rest of the shingle, guys, just so you know. Just the tooth got lifted. You can see it here, look. All right, so but the rest of the shingle is sealed. All right, so here I go. Okay, all right, now we'll begin prying the nails out. And look how careful I am, guys. I'm gonna be very cautious. I'm barely lifting this shingle. And I mean barely lifting it to look for that nail. I'm willing to get down under here and look. All right. Slide this under here, not finding a nail there. All right, let me go down here. Here's a nail here. All right, so you can see I'm gonna let the roof snake determine how much the shingle gets lifted. I'm letting it do its job. All right. Oh. You can see again, look, it's not even lifted, not even 30 degrees. Besides, this is the shingle that's being replaced anyways. All right, first nail. All right, so that nail is sunken too deep. It's called blow through. The air gun was probably turned up too high, so I'm gonna use the roof snake to dig it out. The roof snake does the same thing as the cat's claw in the way that it lets you get in there and get that nail out without barely lifting without barely lifting the shingle. You can see that shingle's barely lifted. I'm just having to. There we go. But you can see, I mean, I didn't even lift that shingle 10 degrees, no more than the roof snake does. Same thing, the roof snake won't get this one either. I'm gonna have to use the cat's claw again. All right, so, but you can see, look guys, I mean, that shingle is not even lifted, but about 3/4 of an inch at the most. It's just that it's sunken into the shingle too much. And that roof snake, as you can see, is too blunt on the end. And so if it's sunken into the shingle at all, you cannot get it out. With this cat's claw, you can dig up under the head, but it does the same thing as the roof snake. As a matter of fact, I believe it's better than the roof snake. I just lifted the shingle less with that than I do whenever I'm getting the nails out with the roof snake. All right, last nail. But I always try to get it out with the roof snake first, as you can see. All right. Okay. See, this is the first. This is the OC30. It's the first sure nail technology. Owens Corning duration is what this shingle is. It's the first Owens Corning duration that they came out with. It is now discontinued. All right, I'm going for this nail here. Look, you can see I'm letting the roof snake determine and decide how much the shingle gets lifted. There we go. All right. Barely got it lifted. There we go. You can see I'm being very gentle and easy not to overlift these shingles, guys. Taking my time. There we go. Like I'm just lifting them the length of the nail, that's all. You can see, look, let the roof snake determine how much it gets lifted. And I'm grabbing that. There we go. Okay. And now just the nails over this one. I don't think I have one here. See, I'm barely lifting these shingles, guys. All right, it looks like we got 2 here. All right, you can see them. Doing my best to lift these shingles as little as possible. I cannot get a bite on it. It's that blunt end, I'm telling you. Roof snake. You can see, guys, I'm trying to be super delicate. Look, I mean, barely lifting the shingle. You can see, look at that. Just got that corner lifted a little bit. Really doing my best to be as careful as possible. There we go. Got it. All right. Huh. I think there's one more. Right there. Look at how little I'm lifting the shingles, guys. Go at it with the roof snake just because I know that's what is preferred over the cat's claw. So I'm gonna try the roof snake first. Barely lifting it. It will not get it. I'm gonna have to use the cat's claw. All right. You can see how little I'm lifting it. I mean, this shingle's still never been nowhere near lifted above 45 degrees. Even like right now, look how little it's lifted. There's our nail. And you can see I'm just lifting it, watch this, the length of the nail to get that nail out. Okay. All right, that should free up my shingle, I'm hoping. There we go. You can see there, the Owens Corning Sure Nail. This is the OC30. It's the first Owens Corning Sure Nail technology shingle they came out with. That's now discontinued. Alright, so I'll toss that up here. Keep, if you don't mind, keep the camera on the repair zone, Addison. And going on down.
Got some matting on there too.
Yep. Matting transfer. Another sign of non-repairability. All right, so slide that up in there. Right there we can. Okay. And I will use the roof snake as well to put the nails back in. And so whenever I drive them all the way down, there's a 3/16 lip right here, which leaves a 3/16 gap between the bottom of the shingle and then the head of the nail. And you don't want that. You want the head of the nail to sink all the way flush with the bottom shingle so that the top shingle lays over on it and lays completely flat so that it can reseal better. So I'll drive it all the way down, and then for that 3/16 that's still sticking out, I'll pull it out, set it on top, and I'll tap it like 1 or 2 more times just to drive it flush so that it's done properly and can reseal. And how I decide how much I lift the shingle, I just barely lift it like that, just enough to slide that under, and then I just let it go. And I let the roof snake determine how much it's lifted by just sitting on it. For everything I've done during this repair attempt, I've done it correctly, and I've done it in a manner to where the shingle could not have been lifted any less than what it was for what I was doing at that time. And look at there, just barely lifted it. Just enough to get that under there, set it there, let it do its job. Barely, barely, barely. There we go. Barely lifting that, just to slide it, that nail under there. Alright, just barely lifting this enough to slide that under there. Lifted it, slid it under there. Alright, last nail. Barely lifted that. Alright, Addison, you see the camera? Not taking it off the repair zone. Alright, so even though it's obvious, I'm going to write new. So first, we'll look at this shingle here. Above it, you can see it's got a straight line crease all the way across. The whole thing. It's especially worse on the teeth, on the dragon teeth. This is the first shingle of the first row, for the first nail row. All right, then you look to the one to the right of it. And this is interesting here. So if you think about it, the shingle stops here. This shingle above here starts here. We only had to lift this end down here, right? So down there really wouldn't be as creased as bad. So if you look, it's not creased down here where it didn't get lifted, which makes sense. But you get close to where it started getting lifted and you see something starting to happen. Look at that there. And crease, crease. It goes down there and splits and goes up around top too there. And then right, the closer you get to the end where it was lifted more, you can see the creasing is worse. So that one's damaged. All right, so there's the first two for the first nail row. Now let's go to the row above it. All right, now here's that shingle that already had that made the mistake on, that already had the wind creased tooth, but we showed plain as day that there was no creasing on the rest of the shingle. I'm not even gonna look at or even count right here. I'm just gonna go down to here, and you can see though, creasing there. You can see it across there, and especially especially bad here and here. Okay, so that one's damaged as well. And then for the last one, and you can see it, that it's got creased here. Not so much in the middle here is bad, which is normal, very normal. When you do a repair on architectural that's not repairable, for the creasing to really just show on the teeth where it's double laminated, because it's going to be stiffer there and therefore more likely to crease. So you can see though, that creasing there, little there, and on through here as well. But so if we were to continue, we'd have to now replace these 4 shingles, which then would damage the 6 shingles above those, and then the 9 shingles above those. And in a V format, we'd have to go all the way to the ridge. And with scattered wind crease shingles on all slopes of this house, and having to work that way, we'd end up replacing the whole roof anyways. So this roof is not repairable, and the only way to bring Miss Barbara justice and back to pre-loss condition is to go with the full roof replacement. So we ask that you would please, reconsider this and update the scope and revise it for full replacement. Thank you. Bye.